right.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Now, this is In the Know podcast. Jaycutta, T the Chef, and we have an important guest today. The other half of Team Adams, you understand me. She's a awesome insurance agent in the area. Been taking over the region for a while. Miss Andreana Adams, my wife. This is why you all see me, and I'm looking like I look. This is why right over here. So you can no longer blame it on me. Now you know. Now you know. But now we're here today to help people better utilize insurance policies and understand what they really are, and to basically let you know that whenever you hear insurance policy, don't think of death, but think of life, and realize there are a lot of benefits, and find out some interesting facts and different things. And I'm gonna be turning things over to her shortly. And after this segment, if you have any particular questions or anything like that, her information will be on the site. So we're gonna get started, get the ball rolling. All right, coming your way.
Hey y'all, I'm glad to be here today. Thank y'all for inviting me.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah. What do y'all want me to start? Life insurance.
It's yours.
Oh, it's mine. So.
UV.
So, life insurance is my passion. I love educating people on life insurance. A lot of people, when they think of life insurance, they think of death. But this is not your granddaddy's insurance anymore. So now you can actually utilize insurance to build wealth. Sam Walton, Walt Disney, they used insurance policies to start their companies. Walmart and Disney World. So there are many different avenues to do this.
Excuse me, 1 second. I want to ask you something.
Okay.
Could you let us know your credentials? Would you? How long have you been in the insurance business? And where's your office located?
Okay, thank you.
Where are we at with that? Because we need to get to know you.
Okay, all right. So I have been, in the life insurance industry since January of 2013. And when I decided to do insurance, I just really always had a passion for insurance. And at that time, I was just working overtime a lot on my job, but I felt like I was taking time away from my family and still barely making ends meet. So, I had a person that I knew that sold insurance, and I just asked her about it, and we met. And if we can back it up a little bit, in our marriage, I have tried many different. We've sold jewelry, we've done Legal Shield, we've done Amway, we've done all kinds of stuff.
But here go the thing to all that. Y'all tried it.
We tried.
Yeah.
You didn't give up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's part of, listen, she just don't know, and it go vice versa. When you get married, that's the assistant. Whether you want to be or not.
That's right. That's right.
That's just the way it works.
Right.
Whatever industry you in. You get what I'm saying? So,
we done sold everything except for midgets. We done sold everything.
Could be next.
You know.
If we can turn $1, let's go.
I'm telling you.
I'm sorry, politically correct little people. So sorry. Hats off to you. Hats off to y'all. Y'all rock. You know what I mean? Y'all rock. You know what I mean? Love y'all.
So you can imagine, I know you can, when I came home and said, hey Josh, I'm going to get an insurance license. He was like, Dream, this better be the last thing. What in the world? And so I told him, I said, and this is for anybody out there who's looking for a different career field. It's very good money, so I get to make good money while doing what I love to do, which is serve people. So I wrote down some numbers and he said, go ahead. So I told him, I said, well, I met with a lady and she told me on average, you can make $500 a pop in a house on an application, on an appointment. I was like, you mean I'm gonna write one piece of business and I can make $500 on average? And she said yes. And so I told him that and he was like, okay, well, let's get it. So I did all of this studying while still working a full-time job, while still being a wife and a mother, and I was able to get that done. And so it's very important to me. And one of the things that I learned first, and this may help somebody, so if you still have a policy out there on a family member, and maybe they committed suicide, and you didn't file that claim because you didn't think it would pay out. As long as that policy has been enforced for 2 years, even if it's a day after 2 years, it's gonna pay out the full death benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have somebody in your family that committed suicide and you never filed that claim, you still have time to file it. So that's one of the first things that I learned. So I've been in this industry since 2013. I did it part-time 6 years and still work full-time, and when my department outsourced overseas in November 2018, I went full steam ahead. And so I do have an office located in Greer that I've been there since 2013. We actually found the office like a couple of weeks before my layoff notice came. And so I was just gonna go in there part-time. But again, provision was there before we even know we was gonna need it.
Wow.
So, yeah, and so we've been there, 600 North Main Street in Greer. And we're right there located in the Quality Food Plaza.
Okay.
There's a barbershop in the New Horizons doctor's office. We're there. But I also drive, I drive Abbeville County, Spartanburg. I'm all over the place all the time. So when people don't want to come to an office, I come to them. You know, I sit at their kitchen table or on their couch and help educate. And I'm very passionate about it, so it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So,
Quick question.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, quick question. You had mentioned something earlier off air about criminal records
yes.
affecting the ability to maneuver in the life insurance area. So, if you would, could you kind of expound on that thing for me?
Yes, so life insurance is underwritten, okay? So they're not only gonna ask questions about your health, you know, have you had cancer, stroke, heart attack, you know, those things. They also wanna know, you know, do you have any speeding tickets? Are you constantly speeding? You know, are you constantly getting traffic violations? Are you on probation?
So basically, are you trying to
Have you been
die?
incarcerated? Right.
Okay.
Are you doing something that may cause us to have to pay out on this policy real soon?
Right.
Because life insurance, they don't want to have to pay out on the policy. You know, they're hoping that you outlive that policy. And then we'll talk about term, whole life, and all that. But yeah, so I had 2 instances on appointments this week where I submitted a policy for a young man, completely healthy, works, and the company declined him. And I said, does he have anything on his driving record? And she said, he has about 3 or 4 tickets. That's why. 3 or 4 tickets and a couple of bump ups. They like, yeah, he ain't driving safe. Like, there is a risk of an accidental death happening. So we're not gonna take on that risk, because what happens is when you do a life insurance policy, that life insurance company is assuming that risk. And so they're looking at like, nah, he's too risky, you know?
Gotcha.
But the great thing is, with me being a broker, I didn't panic. I said, no problem, let's go in. Now that I know what is on his record, now I have an underwriting tool. I can put in traffic violations, and then it'll tell me the companies that are okay. So I wrote them with the company that was okay with it, approved, immediately preferred coverage. But if I know those things up front, then I'll
Gotcha.
know what
You know,
to do.
look inside.
Right,
Yeah, you can say,
right.
okay, well,
Right.
he got Trevor. I got these companies I can send it to.
Right,
Gotcha.
right. And then the second one, she just got out of prison. She had been in there not even a year, but she's on probation until next year, and couldn't find any first day coverage. We could do a 2-year grading period for her, but then a lot of those 2-year grading periods, you have to be at least 40.
Okay.
But the good thing is, she turns 40 in a couple of weeks. And so I have companies that are okay with you being on probation as long as you're not still incarcerated.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, okay, we're gonna come back in 2 weeks, and then I'll write you with this company and give you first day coverage. And she was like, why do they even care about that? I said, because you're risky. They're wondering, are you a criminal? You know, are you gonna continue to do things that's going to cause us to have to pay out this $100,000 or this $500,000 or this $25,000 fast? They don't want to do that.
Accidental death is double, isn't it?
Yes, and
In
so
most cases.
right. And I'm glad that you brought that up. And see, I had him studying a little bit, y'all, but he got scared, so he stopped.
No, I'm terrible with tests. I think this, along with the barber test, is a bunch of bull. You dig? It's wrong on the brain. There are too many words that mean the same thing. It's all a setup. But go ahead.
They trick you.
They live in foul.
So the great thing is, though, for people who may be uninsurable, you know, either because of their lifestyle or health reasons, an accidental death policy is a good option to go, because a lot of deaths occur, you know, that occur are accidental death, and so it's better to have some coverage in place than nothing at all. So, like, if I wouldn't have been able to find her any coverage at all, I would have said, let's at least get you an accidental death policy and then come back, you know, later. But yeah.
Therefore, we're trying to kill these fish fries. What was you
Trying to
going
kill
to say a minute ago, brother?
And these
You was gonna say
GoFundMe.
something.
GoFundMe.
No, because
is not insurance.
you know, we was talking about earlier, and that's the thing that I don't think most people knew, because like you say, when people start to talk about life insurance, we automatically think death. But it's twofold. One, about the separate burial policy that you can get just for your, you know, your the death, and then leave the other stuff for your family or whatever. But not knowing, even through my own research at the time, that a lot of millionaires had turned out from life insurance policies because they were using the living benefits to access money, you know, that they were able to use to. Someone went and bought real estate, you know, someone went in front of their own business, but it was just because from where I'm from, you know, and I remember back in the day, you know, we had the Insure guy that used to walk around with the times tables and Life of Georgia. I never forget it. They would come by and collect for the policy. You know what I'm saying? But nobody ever taught us anything. That's just like, okay, well, hold on this until somebody dies.
Yeah. You have to remember what they used to look at our neighborhood for. They looked at our neighborhood as a place to go sell. Not as a place to go educate, but a place to go sell. You see what I'm saying? Like, with us being the top consumers, everyone, every single culture, every single race of people, no black folks spend money. So they'll find something that appeals to us,
right,
or make it seem appealing to us, and we'll be the first to give in and pay our monies. You see what I'm saying? But see, we won't ask for the education because there's a responsibility that comes with the education. So that's just something I've learned over the years dealing with our people. It's like they would much rather just be simple, like a simple transaction, instead of learning what makes the transaction happen. How did the transaction even, you know what I'm saying? How did it end?
About? Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? How did it begin? Who am I sending the money to? Who's getting this? How much was the taxes? What was the percentages? See, when you get into that kind of stuff, a lot of people back up and back away because they don't, which is why our entrepreneurial numbers are where they are, because it's only so many people who get the consideration. You know what I'm saying? Once you start a business, you still need people to consider you as a business. So like when you don't get the consideration from your people, like, oh, it took a lot for you to do this, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm really gonna do right by, okay, whatever you got going, I'm going with that.
Right.
Instead, our people come at us, want to negotiate because of the mindset. It's like I say, it's not anything to bash our people. It's just the fact that's what we've come from, and the lack of education in so many different areas in so many different age groups is what kills it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we go by blueprints. What they did is what we're gonna do.
Right.
You know, instead of digging into it, we're just like, hey man, they've always done it that way. That's why the little insurance man come through. Guess what?
Right.
Grandma Nan used to pay him every first of the month. You know what I'm talking about? She get her check, you feel me? And she like, hey, here you go, baby.
Yeah.
Is my policy still straight? Thank you, baby. Let me get my receipt. She get her receipt. Boom.
Right.
No other questions are asked. And guess what? A lot of times we were told to go in another room.
Right.
Instead of being brought in to be educated on what's going on, because they weren't even being educated. You see what I'm saying?
They just assumed it was just something they needed in case stuff went bad.
Yeah, it was.
But nobody could explain the other part that you can't access this while you're still breathing to do what. And then another thing that like I say, I think that was just the product of having parents that was kind of just in that loop. Or learning about a lot of stuff,
right?
And my dad was always saying, son, you need to get you a policy outside of your job.
That's right.
Do not rely strictly on job, what you got on the job to take care of your family, because the simple fact is, and I've heard many cases that people pass away who had insurance on their job, and for some reason they still didn't pay out.
Yeah, because it's always a loophole. It's always an underwritten statement somewhere that you
right.
didn't know about.
So,
or it may take a while to pay out.
Right.
Yeah, that too.
So it's like, okay, I knew, about getting my base life insurance on the job. I always had the clause with the accidental death and all of that, and then went outside to get insurance, and I actually found a company that was tied into my credit union.
Mm-hmm.
So I done a little research on them, and it ended up getting a policy for me and my wife that I pay, right at $65 a month on. But it's true stage, and it got us, coverage outside of that. So it's always got to be looking at the supplemental part, but I think the benefit, and especially for the information that we gonna get today about the living part of it, that people have, a lot of people don't have no knowledge on whatsoever.
That's one way for an inheritance to be left.
They are. That's what I'm saying. When I started to look around, I was like, man, the guy started just talking. He was like, man, we love so many. Our kids was getting, their grandparents was leaving them stuff. Okay, we done buried whomever off one policy. We had something in place to, so we didn't have to go to probate to split up the property, and then the rest of us was left to them. And it's like, wow, you already got a head start.
Right. And Turge, with you mentioning probate, trust.
Yeah.
A lot of people too, they put all of their stuff, all of their
in
insurance,
the trust fund,
all this stuff in a trust, and that avoids probate.
Yeah, and it take the taxes off of it too, right?
That's right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But that's why a lot of people hide behind their insurance though, because it's hard to tax insurance policies.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? There's only a certain time when you can hit them.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, this is the thing that got me. I was talking to a guy. It was so horrible, man. Like 401k. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you're gonna get into this thing.
Yeah.
Probably the worst thing that made to me.
You know what I mean? Because see, the thing about it is the people that own the business, they push and force 401k on you, but they don't have a dime in it. You dig what I'm saying? They're not gonna put their money in there because they like, look, if the stock market crashes, you in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
you
all
lose
stock
your
market
bread,
based.
that sir.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like,
and then on top of that,
they won't tell you about the policy.
If you do get in a jam, if you do get in a jam, it ain't but 4 ways you can access the money.
Come on.
If somebody dies, you
Right.
can use it part of the burial stream. Somebody go to college, you're paying for your first primary house, and I think the last one was
It's gotta be a hardship.
Yeah, some
kind
kind
of
of
hardship.
or something where like something happened to your house that the insurance won't cover. So you can access it then, but you still gotta pay a penalty.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying? The only way it becomes
To borrow your money.
to borrow your money. So the only thing that really, the really only thing that you can do with a 401k, and you probably gotta have a nice lump sum in there, is to take a loan. Because if you take the hardship, it counts as income.
Right.
You get what I'm
They gonna
saying?
get
So you gonna get a pre-penalty, because you ain't old enough, and then you gonna get taxed
Good
because
evening.
you gotta make an income.
You're right.
That's the biggest trap.
Welcome to
Ever.
America. Welcome to America, sir.
Yeah,
Like Bernie Mac told you, welcome to the stripping business, partner. That's why I get 30%.
That's it. They gonna
Hey.
get 30%.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
But yeah, those things kind of let us in on what can we do as far as removing money from 401ks, putting it into a safer place. What can we do in those areas?
Okay.
What is it that we can do?
So in most instances, if you're still working on a job, you can't just move that money from that 401k. Okay. But what I suggest is at least do the match, because that's free money. So if your company is gonna match you at 6%, put in that 6%, but then don't put anything over.
Gotcha.
Like if you're doing 10%, back off and to 6%, and then let's put that other 4% that you're not gonna miss into an IUL. And IUL is an index universal life policy that builds cash value and interest.
Good evening.
But it's compounded
Compounded
interest. And so
interest.
that interest is making interest, is making interest, is making interest. And that's free money.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be taxed.
Gotcha. And that's something that I was also looking at too. And that it's everywhere now, because it just doesn't come out, so you kind of get lost in the which way do I go? You know what I mean? Because it's like but then also when I first heard about it, people were making it seem like you had to have some kind of absorbent amount to even get it started.
Yeah.
And
It sounds overwhelming.
Yeah, dude, you
Yeah.
like, oh boy,
I ain't got bread like that.
right.
It'd be nice, but I don't have bread like that.
So you
I get it.
don't, but you do, right?
Right.
So it depends on your age. Like now, if you invest in one for your grandchildren, you don't have to put a bunch in there at all. You
Gotcha.
can if you want to start them off at $50 a month, $100 a month, they can be millionaires when they are adults, right?
Adults, yeah.
But now all of us are in the 50 area.
Right.
We're gonna have to put in some hundreds a month
Gotcha.
if you want to play catch up.
Yeah.
So it just depends. If you get in while you're young and healthy, that's the best point. But not everybody qualifies for an IUL, because again, IULs is life insurance, and so it is going to go off of your health and your
other behaviors.
Your other behaviors. I like that. I was trying to figure out how to say it. But yeah. But in that case, we have annuities, right?
Okay.
Annuities are not tax free, but they are tax deferred.
Okay.
Right?
So you can push it off for a
Right.
while.
And so you don't actually pay taxes on it until you withdraw money from it. And then you're only paying taxes on what you put into it.
Okay.
Or maybe on the gains.
Probably on the games.
Yeah, is what I'm thinking. I'm sorry. I'm rusty on that. Hey y'all, I'm learning still. But I have a Medicare client that trusts me. And so last year I went over there and she said, "Don't you also do life insurance?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "I got some money sitting somewhere and I can't find it." I got on the phone, I got her statements, found it like that. I wrote it over. hers had already dropped because it was still in an aggressive 401k, which is okay if it's aggressive while you're young.
Okay.
But you're retired. You don't need your money still in an aggressive portfolio.
Right.
So she had lost $30,000.
Oh.
And I said, we need to move this to something safe for you. So what I write annuities is safe money. So if the market goes up, you get a gain. If the market goes down, it stays the same.
Gotcha.
And so we rolled over hers, and then we found her husband and rolled them over. And so they're now getting gains in it.
Right.
But if the market crashes, they're not going
That
to
it
lose
won't
any
go
more
no
money.
money. Okay.
Right.
So
right.
you don't lose no more than what you had already initially put in.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so in that instance, so if anyone has a 401k and y'all are, you know, if you're watching it go down but you don't know what to do, feel free to contact me, and I can help. So we can actually get it in a safe product that's still based on the market, but it's not that 401k with that downside.
Gotcha.
And so that's another option because annuities are not based on your health. So
Gotcha.
it's just if you have the money, because it's not like you're pulling money from somewhere else. You already have this money set aside. You just need to put it into something safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can also set it up so. Can you also set it up so if I
It can
still
have a
had income
beneficiary.
coming, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? If I had still had income, I can also add to it.
You can add to it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You can add to it, absolutely.
Okay.
And so it is tax free in the instance after the first year.
Mm-hmm.
You can, if you need to, take 10%. You can take 10% a year out of your annuity tax free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you have this and you say, I need $10,000,
Mm-hmm.
we can do that and it's tax free.
Oh, okay.
You know, so
That's awesome.
because so that and then another system that I don't know if a lot of people have heard about it is within a whole life product, because you know whole life builds cash value.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do compound interest like the IUL, but it builds cash value and it's a guaranteed product, and as long as you pay on that policy, it's never going to end, right?
Right.
But there's a system inside of this called the Infinite Banking System. We call it IBS, where that thing, and a lot of people use this. A lot of the 1%, they use infinite banking systems, where it's your money in this life insurance product that has a death benefit, but also a living benefit, right?
Okay.
To where you're borrowing against the policy, not from it, right?
Okay.
So you're borrowing against it. So on paper, that money is still there growing for you,
Mm-hmm.
but you haven't taken it out on paper,
Gotcha.
right? So that's new.
Okay.
That's new too. So we have the IULs, we have the infinite banking system, and we have whole life policies and annuities that can help us build wealth and a legacy to like pass on to our children's children. Or for us, because I want to enjoy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I want to.
alive,
I want
you know what I
to.
mean?
Right.
I don't want them to leave everything. I love my children and grandchildren, but I don't want to leave everything to them.
I understand that.
Ain't
I
that
think
Because
it's
we
the
like travel.
yeah, and I think the biggest thing in that is it's probably building that trust,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and getting that trust
Mm-hmm.
rolling because that trust in a sense is insurance.
Yeah.
It protects you from
From
that tax,
from that government.
from that
Mhm.
yeah, from all of that, and I mean, and like I say, it helps you get through. You don't have to worry about probate
Right.
and all that stuff being held up. I mean, at his disposal or that trustees, whoever you got trusted to it, you know, that's how it rolls out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
right.
know, instead of you being somebody being in court for a couple of years and this time up and
That's
going
right.
up and somebody will go get a lawyer and all. Man, you don't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be something down the road maybe on another show that we get the information on how to build that trust.
Step by step.
Step by step, so people can
Just have a
start.
specific.
Start now.
For that.
You know what I mean? Because, like you say, man, I mean, I love life, but I know I ain't getting no younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta be smart.
Realistic. Oh, I have a question. So clear something up for me. Alrighty then. It is long-term care. Could you let me know what's the deal with long-term care? Because I see, because a lot of people now are having to take care of family members. A lot of them are having to take over responsibilities, and some people are losing because they're trying to juggle a job, juggle time to spend with whoever the family member is, and you know, how can they get some help with that? How does long-term care as a policy, how does that help us?
Okay, and I'm happy that you asked that. And so I only mentioned that I'm a life insurance agent, so I'm also an agent on the Medicare side as well as the health insurance, Obamacare, Marketplace, whatever it's called today. So if you don't have that, I can do that as well. Dental, hearing, vision, and long-term care policies, short-term disability, long-term disability, anything life and health related, I can help with that. So being in the Medicare field, you know, I've seen people that need that long-term care now. And what they don't know is that no part of Medicare will cover long-term care. Okay? No part of Medicare covers long-term care.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I missed that on the test. I missed that.
So, if you don't have Medicaid, so Medicaid, but you know, that's only for people that are at the poverty level, is based on your income to qualify for Medicaid. If you do have Medicaid, Medicaid will help pay for long-term care. Right?
Okay.
But not everybody has that. So that's when there's a need for a separate standalone long-term care policy to be enforced. And I write for a few companies, Mutual of Omaha and some other companies that offers that product. Just thinking about it in the Medicare field, I have two couples, well-to-do, very financially stable. Both of the wives had to put their husbands into memory care facilities for Alzheimer's. And they called me, hey, this Medicare, I'm so sorry. Medicare covers no part of this. So thankfully, one couple, she had a long-term care policy in place that they've had for years and years and years. So her husband was placed in there, and the policy pays for it. Every single month, it pays for that stay at that facility. The other couple, very well to do. He was an engineer graduate from Clemson, traveled countries, and so they had built their wealth, right? But they didn't have a long-term care policy in place. She was paying $6,000 to $7,000 a month for him to stay at the place. Yeah, so, and it's not expensive. And I was telling Josh, I was like, it was a blessing that with my grandmothers, we had family that was able to like take turns and tag team. Hey, I'll take Thursday, I'll take this day. But everybody doesn't have that.
Yeah.
And so like, if it's just that one person doing it all, like that wears you down, you know? So the best time to get a long-term care policy is like our age or younger, and just let it ride and just pay that thing, because life happens. And so that will really, and the way they're built now, so like long-term care policies used to be, they had to go into a facility in order for it to pay. But like when somebody gets sick, where do they want to be?
Home.
They want to be at home. And so now policies are built. They have different ones. They have some where they have to go into a facility, but some have some that are hybrid. Well, if they want to go into a facility, it'll pay. If they want to stay at home, it'll pay. So convenient. I know with both of my grandmothers, they were able to be at home. It was no long-term care policies in place, but there was a team.
Team, right.
So yeah, but that's good. Thank you for asking about that because it's very important, and I'm seeing it more and more. I'm getting calls at least once a week. Hey, does this Medicare plan pay for long-term care? I need somebody to come in, or I need them to go somewhere. I'm like, unfortunately, no part of Medicare covers long-term care.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's definitely something I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that they took care of that too.
Nope, they do not.
Wow.
They're
no
not.
part of Medicare covers
They're
long-term
not.
care.
I noticed, like when you think back to when the banks went down, the car industry went down, the insurance industry bailed them out. So that lets you know how the insurance industry basically has the government on the shoulders. You dig? Like if you pull the insurance industry, this country is over.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing. Like there's nothing. Every square foot is insured. If you think about it, you know what I'm saying. Like every square foot of even property has insurance. You know what I'm saying. So it's like this information is vital to us as a people now more than ever because we have a chance to get our hands on some decent kind of money. So it's like we really need to know what to do with it in order to maximize it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's no telling what our window is. You know what I'm saying? Things about to change hands, so that means policy's gonna change. That means everything in the lands are gonna change, state to state, nationwide. All that stuff is about to change.
Right.
You know what I mean? So what you about to say?
Well, I thought about something whenever you talked about the banks, and the insurance companies, doing the bailout. A lot of people don't know, and so like a lot of people will say, well, I don't need insurance. I have it in the bank. But like, if the banks go down,
Dead flies.
if you have $2 million in there, the FDIC only insures $250,000 per person.
Right.
So you've gone from $2 million to $250,000.
And you stand on somebody's building trying to jump off.
Right.
Yeah.
So insurance, whatever your face amount is, that's what you're getting. Like, I have a company now that I write for. I've written for them since I started in 2013, Columbia Financial Group. So when I went to the conference, 2 or 3 weeks ago, CFG is no longer writing new life insurance policies. And they've been in business for 100 years or so. But what they do is they sell to another company, and so that other company still, they're the managers of it, but like they're not writing any more policies. But if you pass away, that CFG policy is still gonna pay out as long as your premium is still paid. If these banks go down and all of your money is in those CDs, and which CDs don't bill you nothing at all. If your money is in CDs and money markets and stuff, if that bank goes down, you got $250,000.
Roll them dice.
And that's not per product. Like, okay,
That's
for you.
That's
Okay,
your
you
account.
get $250,000.
Need you to sort that out.
$250,000.
Yeah,
You get $250,000. That's it.
Go and sort that out. Figure that thing
Now,
out.
keep in mind, if you got $100,000 in the bank, you're not getting $250,000.
Right.
So you'll be okay, getting your $100,000. But yeah, and so, and then one thing that I want to bring up, stop saying y'all just put me in the backyard. Y'all just, we cannot put you in the backyard. We'll be in jail.
People say don't make a fuss.
Burying a body in the backyard.
Right. Don't make a fuss about me. Just put me in something.
We can't do that.
Folks are not gonna do that anyway.
But hold on.
I ain't gonna spend $100,000 on you now. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
But hold on. I'm just
gonna
gonna ask the question. And
you ain't get no gold casket. That's it.
But I thought there was a law though that if you buried them on the property, did not that property you can't put taxes on that property anymore.
You cannot, and that's why Donald Trump did.
That's
it.
what I'm saying. He been doing that
But-
with his wife,
Right.
one of his wives.
Right, and but keep in mind the laws vary from state to state, so you better like research your
Yeah.
state's laws to see. But I'm talking about the people who say,
They don't need the insurance.
I don't need insurance.
Just throw me in the backyard.
Just throw me in the backyard. You know we can't just throw you in the backyard.
Right.
I think.
Just put me in the cardboard box. and throw me in the backyard.
Cardboard? Why are you gonna wait the cardboard?
Now funeral homes do.
Hmm.
That is on their price list, a cardboard box. Like if you don't want to pay for a casket,
Oh yeah, I'm
a
saying.
cardboard
Trust me.
box is on their price
Listen,
list.
when I worked at the airport,
Mhm.
people don't understand. You know, people have to be flown home when they pass away.
Mhm.
So it was, matter of fact, it was the first time I was down there and I actually seen one coming off the plane.
Mm.
That's what they put you in.
A
You're,
cardboard box.
yeah, you're in a cardboard box.
Mhm.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And it was like, wow, okay.
So okay. Quick question. I'm gonna throw this out here just to see if y'all brains function like mine. So okay, rolling up on a cemetery. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, in your mind, that all of those markings are caskets underneath the ground?
No.
Oh no.
Okay. I was just checking to see if I was the only one. Alrighty.
Mm-mm.
Because a lot of people believe them caskets underground, but they're not. But them things recyclable. Ooh, but they pull you up out that jet
You still
and put you in the ground. Hey, you got to think about. Okay, think about it.
No, man.
You can refurbish what gets dirty. You in that casket for an hour and a half, 2 hour max. Think about it now. You 2 hour max. You go from the table to the casket. You in there a few hours. Think about it now. You ain't get it dirty. And who gonna know? Who gonna know if they don't? But when they put you in the ground, you are the markers are entirely too close together for that to be a casket underneath there. So if there's no casket in the ground, you in it. Ashes, dad, Jim, dust
I
to
don't
dust.
know, but you're on that conspiracy
Huh.
theory. Hey,
I always believe that they recycle caskets. I always believe that.
recycled caskets.
Yes, because you gotta think. What are they doing with them?
But think
They're not going in the ground. That means they're going back to the
Somebody-
joint.
so hold on.
But
So,
they'll
hold on.
redo them interiors.
Hold on, that was saying so you got a casket detail or somewhere.
But I promise you they put it together. They stitching the hell out them things. But I promise you.
So I say,
Huh? Think about it though. If you
so I
think about
propose on a date night.
I ain't doing all that. You done ruined it
Let's go
already.
out.
Chill already. That's a bull job already.
Let's go out there and see if we see somebody getting caskets up.
You see what I'm saying?
Josh, I don't know, baby.
There's not enough room
Boy,
from
you
marker to marker
Hey, man,
for
you-
them to all be
Hey,
caskets.
hey.
Look, think about how close those are, those markers.
Nah.
And when people put flowers on the graves,
Hey, man.
think about how close they are to each other. There's not enough room for all them caskets. I'm sorry, it's not.
But you gotta think about it though.
You see what I'm saying?
We ain't turning them long ways. You only need that casket ain't but so wide.
Well, them caskets be wide.
No,
you gotta
man,
think. It's six
no.
Negroes carrying one of them songs on now. That ain't.
No, that's because of what it's made out of.
You see what I'm saying?
Now, let me
The
take
outside.
You, let me take you back to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
People had to come get these things.
Mhm.
Now, so, like I say, some people came in air tray.
Mm-hmm.
Some people came in full mahogany caskets.
Right.
Mhm.
That's mahogany,
Mm-hmm.
son. They had to bring
Mm-hmm.
4 to 5 guys from the funeral home
Mhm.
with them to get it off the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
That mahogany ain't going in the ground. That mahogany gonna be used again. I promise you that. But cause guess what? This is gonna get in.
listen.
Who gonna be there to dispute?
Hold on, though.
Cause
Oh,
you,
yeah,
you
yeah,
ain't never
yeah.
noticed.
But
you ain't
I'm-
never noticed they don't put dirt on it while you're there. Has anybody ever noticed that? They lower them in the ground.
But you know what?
You have your ceremony and you leave.
But you know what?
They don't cover that while you there,
They used to allow you to be there while they do all that.
and they don't now. Y'all can't tell me about it now. I'm trying to tell you what it is. Not what they doing to us now.
Hey,
Okay, man. I ain't gonna argue with you.
Think about it.
This find
Don't
me,
you think about
me
it?
the casket detail.
I'm about to
and I'm
do it
gonna
too.
holler. At
Hey,
That might be a business to go into.
but y'all jokers out here lining these caskets, holler at your man, all right? Because I got some non-believers in the building. You see, I need them to understand that y'all recycling these things and it's going down. You feel me? Yes, sir. Velvet interiors are being put down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so this leads to final expense.
Yes.
Right.
There we go. There we go. See how that propped up? You see that? By one of the toughest in the business. All right, go ahead. Go ahead with it.
So final expense, they use that like for the burial or for final expenses, you know, enough to like pay for the funeral, and then like if there are some extra stuff, you know, after the fact.
Gotcha.
Pay for that. So what I suggest, have you a big life insurance that you're gonna like pass on or build your wealth in, and then have a separate final expense policy. Don't
So is that the same thing as the burial policy? What we talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
But don't go to, well, kind of different, but we're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Just remind me to come back to the policies that the funeral homes offer,
Gotcha.
burial, as opposed to a final expense policy
Gotcha.
that you're paying for. But what was I saying?
You was talking about the final expense. You was trying to.
You was talking about how them caskets was being laced up and recycled.
But you was talking about
Talking about final expense, giving us and one policy for the inheritance and
Right,
one policy
right.
for
And
the
so
actual
what I was
burial
gonna
procedure.
say is this:
Yeah.
don't go to the funeral home. I got $100,000.
Because they're gonna sit.
They're gonna try to get
every
in
penny
a
of it.
good old chunk of it.
Right.
So have your separate final expense policy. I have $25,000, or I have
So I got 10.
$15,000.
Make it work.
You know what I mean? Whatever, because the
Yeah.
funeral home does call and verify those policies are current.
Right.
So don't take no big
Right. They
life
gonna
insurance policy. Then
they gonna try to use every
have
bit
you
of it.
something specifically for your final expenses. This is what I have.
Right.
Now, coming back to that, so some funeral homes, they're partnered with companies and they offer burial insurance. I have had some instances come across where people said, well, I've already prepaid for my funeral, right? If you prepaid for that thing 10, 15, 20 years ago, inflation everywhere. They're not in fine print. They're not obligated to, if they sold you that burial policy or set up that funeral service for you for $10,000. Because I think back when your mom passed away, it was about $10,000
About
to
10.
pay. It ain't that
10,
no
11.
more.
Right.
You think they love you and they're gonna be nice to be like, we know you paid 10, it's 20 now, but you okay? No,
No.
they're
They're gonna look
gonna
for
say-
that other 10.
they're looking for that other 10. So I don't suggest getting a burial policy through a funeral home.
Right.
Get something that's like standalone for you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and just pay that every month.
Right.
You know,
I know when my dad passed away, he had a policy. He said it was just
just for burial.
for this.
Mm-hmm.
If it's if it's over, something gonna have to get
Right.
nixed, but
Right.
that's what he wanted.
Right.
So the rest, my mom, went to my mom. or
Right.
whatever. So it was like,
Don't go.
don't go in there flashing no paperwork, no nothing.
Do not.
Listen, you know what's on that policy. You got the number up here.
You
Go in
work
there and
with
tell
that,
me
and that's it.
to go in there and tell them whatever you need, because there's a lot of that stuff you can get scratched out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then you, like you say, some cats had to come in there and they got to get the top of the line.
Man, I'm gonna
No.
play
For
the
what?
pole mouth, see what
Listen.
you can get me, boss.
Right.
What? A
You know.
casket trimmed in gold. I'm not gonna see it. I'm
No.
not gonna enjoy it. I ain't gonna have
Y'all know how I feel
feeling.
about it. Y'all know where I'm going.
Right. So
It's gonna be reused anyway. You know where I'm going with that. It's just for the ceremony. Take your pictures, cause it's going back out.
Stupid, man.
It's going back. It's gonna get new velvet, and it's going back out there. Buff that edge out there, brother. Buff the edges.
But I mean, they add in a lot of stuff. I remember when Josh's mom passed away, they was trying to charge for the obituaries. All this. I said, we'll print the obituaries. That right there scratched off about $300 to $500.
Mm-hmm.
Our living room was a print room when I had obituaries coming out. Hey, I'm printing them, you fold them. We was like this. No, we're not doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people don't know. They think, okay, I have to get this. You know,
Yeah,
I have to get this.
you
You don't
know,
have to
you
get that.
don't.
Yeah,
You don't
because
have
it's
to
a
get
scary area because the problem comes once again, like we've all been talking about since we started this podcast 20 episodes ago. The education will blind you.
Mm-hmm.
The lack thereof. Like when you just don't know about something, you just don't know. A person could come up you ain't never seen before. They could tell you anything if they make it sound good enough, and you don't know about the subject, you're in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're punished. So it's like that's one of the places that we stay at as a people for some reason, because we just refuse to research things that we've always looked upon as scary areas. I'm tell you what, insurance and different things, especially burial insurance and all that, dealing with plots and different things, that kind of stuff is like the book of Revelations. Black folk not trying to deal. When it comes to insurance, they're like, no, Bob, don't start talking about that. Somebody gonna mess around and die. You ain't talking about this death. Now, because you know we have so many superstitions. You know we keep stupid stuff around. You know we do.
Right.
You know we do. We rub it on shit. Don't split that. Don't walk over the shit. Over there.
And we
Let me
perish
finish.
for
You know
lack
what I'm
of
saying? A
knowledge.
lack of
We
knowledge.
perish for a lack of knowledge.
It's just, like, it's crazy because
Yeah.
and we're in here within probably an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and we've changed lives, living and dead, within 1 hour. But we'll go and work 40 plus hours to give to someone that doesn't benefit us. But we won't take an hour to benefit ourselves. We've got to change our mindset. We've got to change the way we think. That's why we don't receive insurance. That's why we listen to it and move on. Be like, oh, okay, that's straight.
Yeah.
But we move on. You know what I'm saying? Because we won't receive what the benefits actually mean to us. It's like we hear things, but see, until it hits your door, we as a people a lot of times don't want. Now we've gotten better in getting prepared. Yes, we have. There's a lot more people that have insurance policies. It's a lot. Appreciate y'all. It's a lot more people who are getting interested in learning about insurance and the IULs, the annuities, different things. It's a lot of our people are getting, well versed on this thing. But there are still it's still a large percentage of us who have no clue.
Yeah.
And because I hear her on the phone all the time, and somebody can call one of her clients and throw a deal out there, and they'll jump on it and lose half their benefits at the same time.
If they call me to fix it, I did something, I'd be like,
I didn't know I wasn't supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, once again, you're not educated on the subject, and people can throw something out there that sounds good and mess you over. So it's like, you know what I mean? I just think it's time, especially with the status of this country right now, y'all gotta look around, and there's two things going on. A lot of people are dying daily. And a lot of money is changing hands that's not going into our community. So we have to get smarter about money if no one else does. Okay? Because no one is saying, here, black people, here you go. No, they're not. So we got to now find ways and avenues to maximize our money. And people like you that are out here in the industry doing that thing, we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? The effort and the work. Because I know it's irritating dealing with us, because I only cut hair, and it's irritating to deal with some folk cutting hair. So I couldn't imagine having to deal with numbers and finance. Because black people and money make you choke somebody. So I understand. So that's
Okay.
major.
This policy gonna cost me how much?
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Can I get one for about $12?
What if
You know what?
You know
Let
what
me
I'm
tell
saying?
you something, and I say all the time,
Here you go.
Kurt,
Here you go.
what you saying that, I'm so glad that I cannot be bargained down on insurance. I
Right.
didn't make this price. The insurance company did.
Now, the
I
people
can't
that's
do nothing
underwriting
with
this
Right.
is what
Because if I make the prices, you know somebody, but can I get for 25?
yeah, exactly. No. Mhm.
And but
Why do you get three
listen,
of them?
you'll get
You
somebody.
know we known
that-
each other in high school.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right.
Listen, you will get
Right.
you will get somebody that's old,
Mm-hmm.
health issues. I can't pay for $25. Well, I don't know what you want to get.
You gonna have to go to Globe Life.
You know,
You didn't put them on the
and
commercial.
Globe Life ain't gonna pay out for 2 years.
You
So I
didn't put
hope
them
you
on the
gonna hold
commercial.
on
That don't matter.
on Colonial Penn.
Hey.
$9.99.
Hey.
Do you know that $9.99 buys $1,000 insurance? What you gonna do for $1,000?
Nothing. You can't get cremated for $1,000.
You cannot.
Right.
Yeah.
It started at 15.
cannot. You
Yeah.
And people stop
That's
buying
crazy.
insurance through the mail or over the phone.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you get something, and just another little education moment, I've called people and they say, well, I already got it. And I'm like, sometimes I say, do you have the new kind or the old kind? Well, what's that? And then sometimes I'll say, well, how did you buy it? Did someone come sit down with you? Did you buy it over the phone? Well, I got something in the mail. I said, okay, grab your policy for me. Tell me if it says modified, graded, or guaranteed. If it says any of those 3 words, if your death is in the first 2 years,
You get nothing.
you don't get nothing.
Mm.
If your death is accidental, it'll pay out. But if your death is of natural causes in that first 2 years, it ain't gonna pay out. That's good for some people that may have AIDS or HIV or current cancer. But if you're healthy, there's no reason you should have a graded, a guaranteed, or a modified insurance product. You know what I mean? So I tell people, stop buying stuff over the phone. Stop filling out stuff in the
Sticking it
mail,
back in the
putting it
mail.
back. And it'll say, no health questions. That's a red flag. They ask you nothing about your health. They don't know if you on oxygen, half dead.
Right.
So
they don't even know if that's you.
they don't know if that's you. So
And I
they're
seen that
writing-
happen.
Yes. So they're writing it over the phone. Yes, okay. And taking your little money. And if you pass away, you might not get it, or you might get $1,000. I'm
Yeah.
paying, you know. And then some people too who are not educated, they'll get an accidental policy, not knowing it. Be like, I got $200,000. I ain't paying but $20 a month. Okay, what type of insurance is it? I don't know what's in there. And some people don't even know what their policies is and stuff. And be like,
Yeah.
it's in there. You get it, and it's accidental death. I'm like, did you know this was only accidental death? No. So
Yes,
if your
sir,
death
right.
is not accidental, you ain't getting, your family ain't getting this.
Mm.
Okay. So one of the tools that I implement is an emergency response system. I call it ERS. And so what I like to do is when I finish a policy with a family or individual, I like to get at least 10 people that are close to you that if you pass away, your spouse or your children, they may not be thinking about it because they're distraught. Who else, like your sister or your cousin, your friend, can I call to give all of my contact information so that when you pass away, they know to call me about this policy. And you know, so like that works because a lot of people's families, they don't even know there's a policy in place.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And so that is, and so that happens a lot. And I know at the top I mentioned there's over $1 billion of unclaimed insurance. That's because, yeah. I don't know if I did, but I had it in my thoughts and I wrote it down in my paper.
Like South Carolina,
There's But yeah, and so in America, there's over $1 billion of unclaimed life insurance because people don't know there's a policy in place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they knew there was a policy, but like they didn't know they was the beneficiary, or maybe the beneficiary died and the insured never updated to another beneficiary.
So it's just in lingo, just
It's
hanging around.
in lingo, just hanging around, and eventually it's gonna go to the government. Well, ain't nobody claimed this. Yeah, yeah.
Is there any way to search?
No, and I wish there was a system. And I have people all the time calling me saying, "Is there a system to search to see if there's a policy?" I said, "No, but what you can do is I write for about 20 carriers. If it's one of these, I can call for you, you know, and ask if there is a policy in place. I need their name, date of birth, and address and stuff, and I do that for you, you know." But yeah, there is no system to search to see, okay, Georgia Pilot has a policy with Mutual of Omaha. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is nothing like that in place. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
And I get calls about it all the time, but they ain't gonna do that because then people gonna be claiming that money.
That money.
Right.
You know, so.
That's their lake house.
So, insurance companies, they are built and they're happy to pay out whenever that happens, but they don't want to. They're hoping that you outlive that policy. And so one of the policies can be outlived is that term policy, right? And a lot of people don't understand term versus whole life. So term is a really good policy, nothing against it. I have a term policy, okay? And I also have a permanent policy. But like, so term policy is in place for that specific amount of time. That's what it's 10 years, 15, 20, 25, or 30, right? At the end of that term, that insurance is gone.
Right.
So now you gotta start over, and now you're 20 years older, or however, and now you gotta start over. So now it's going off your health now.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
But there are instances, I have a few carriers that offer a return of premium rider on a term policy. That means at the end of that term, if you're still alive, you can get that money back. Yes.
Okay.
And so it's like a little savings account.
Okay.
That's tax free.
But if you don't know about that rider, you stuck.
You stuck.
Right.
You gotta know that you gotta know it's available.
Right.
Cause they not gonna tell you.
And then there, so like when people want a term policy, I always offer that. It costs more, but
But
you
if I can get my money back.
Yeah. And so like in some instances, you can choose to even get your money back for all of the premiums, or you can choose to buy a paid up policy. And so now you have a permanent policy that is already paid for. You don't owe nothing else.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Yeah. And then, so there's another company I write for, Americo. They have a continuation product, right? So it starts off as term. So if you want to get $200,000, $500,000 in that term, so in that 20 years or whatever, that you're living and where everything is expensive because you have your children and your grandchildren, whatever, you may have your mortgage and stuff, you know, in place. You have that big chunk, and then at the end of that term, instead of that just going away, you get to keep 10% of that policy for your final expenses.
Oh,
It's
okay.
already in place. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so,
Wow.
and so it's different products now. So term is more affordable. The older you, I mean, you know, if you wait, like whole life does cost more, but it's a permanent policy. Term is more affordable, so get you some insurance in place, right? But there's different products now that offer those different
There's different benefits.
Benefits.
So is that
Yeah.
similar to Universal?
No.
Is it along the lines of Universal? It's not.
No, because it's a term policy that's gonna convert to a permanent policy
Okay, so it's converting from term to
without additional underwriting.
Okay.
Okay.
So like
So
if
you don't have
life
to go
has
back.
happened, if you become handicapped or disabled or something, if you had cancer or something, in that transition, you're not gonna be underwritten for that. It's
Oh,
gonna
okay.
be from that first
So
day.
from what you
just
first
carry
on and carry on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then term policies, a lot of the term policies now also offer benefits, which is critical and terminal illness.
Mm-hmm.
If you become terminally ill or chronically ill or critically ill, you can access a portion of your face amount while you're still alive.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's a lot of insurance is different. It's evolving and
Yeah.
yeah.
Most likely,
So,
it's way different.
Yeah. And
But
a lot of-
I'm glad
yeah.
we finally got to see the explanation of the differences. Because like I say, from a kid, it was just the guy coming around. Hey, go pay your policy today.
Come around. But what I will say is that even though it may not have been big face amounts, our elders were serious about paying that insurance every week.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing with us now, that costs too much. But you insure your cell phones. You
insure your car.
You insure your car. You insure so much other stuff, but why not
Shoot, I ain't
insure
seen people
your
got
life?
insure their dogs.
Insure their dogs.
But you ain't got nothing.
And
That's too expensive.
in which, if you do want
See how they got
to insure your pets, I do have an agent in my office now that now offers pet insurance because I know people love their dogs. and
I
stuff.
love mine.
Okay,
It's just trying to find something that makes sense. Like you say, it's
Yeah,
all either
yeah.
in the mail or online. I don't know.
Yeah. And we love ours too. Right.
On behalf of the dog nation, the union has released paperwork saying that you all have came from the backyard to the palace. I need you to understand, no more chained up by the tree.
No.
You are now living and eating at the dinner table. You
No.
have arrived in the palace. You have insurance and benefits. You used to have leftover soul food.
No.
But now you got benefits. You got your own room. You done moved up. All dogs. All dogs.
Y'all been friends for how long, Terry? You done had them longer than me.
Too damn long.
I done had them for
Hey,
21
man,
years.
listen.
You done had them for how long?
You dropped. You was doing good for the dog.
Till it came to the table.
Till you came to the table. Nah, bro.
I
We doing that.
I know some rich folk that had a birthday party for some dogs, and the dogs had their own little table.
Yeah, I done seen that.
They had their own table.
But
they
listen,
literally
let me tell you about my house though.
had a dinner table.
Drake is one. He's spoiled. Don't get me wrong. He don't eat no leftover foods, nothing like that. But he is not gonna be at the damn dinner table.
I know, that's
No,
right.
it can't be a table.
No,
We don't share
no,
like that. We don't share like
no. He ain't chained up our back.
that. Right.
Nothing like that. You had the one with he was tied to the tree.
Yeah.
Chain, don't go the tree
And
down.
his name was King.
All of them was named King.
King and Brownie.
I don't know about Brian.
Them were foundational names
We had
in
a
our
Brownie.
area. You know what I mean? Them were foundational names back in the day.
Oh man, so
Go back there and feed King, give him some water.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot yesterday. Go
King,
back.
King out there eating cornbread,
You hear me?
stew meat,
You hear me?
in one bowl, in one bowl.
I'm telling
Make
you.
it happen.
And rice.
And he tear it off. And he tear it off every time.
Then they said, you see him laying by the tree. Like,
Hey,
then you gotta go out there and check on it, make sure
yeah, he taking
ain't
that
laying
nap.
away.
He taking that nap. The
got
itis,
the
the
itis.
itis got on
I
him.
just got it.
Tired. Dusty and dirty from the dirt.
You
There's
hear
no
me?
grass right there no more.
You know what I'm talking about?
Dogs have come up, honey.
Oh yeah, big
Y'all
time.
came up.
Yeah,
I mean,
big time.
shoot. Anyway, man, I don't get on that, man, because y'all are true. Hey.
You the one started. But it's all good.
Hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, we you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I did want to add that Life Insurance Awareness Month is September, the whole month of September.
Okay.
And so if you don't have a policy, if you have one and you're not sure what you have, it's not what you think it is, or you just want a policy review, or you just want to add some more coverage, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to help with that. So it's for the entire month of, so you don't have to wait until September.
Right.
But I just wanted
That's
to
just an
put
awareness
that
month.
out there. Life Insurance Awareness Month is every September. And then coming up, Medicare annual enrollment is October 15th through December 7th. And then Marketplace, Obamacare, whatever you like to call it, that open enrollment is from November the 15th through January the 15th. But November 1st, I got all these enrollment periods running in my head. Anyway,
Said November to January.
to January the 15th. But keep in mind, okay, listen, January the 1st, November the 1st, edit this part.
How you gonna say it in the middle of the sentence?
Edit this for.
Right, in the middle of the sentence.
November the 1st through January the 15th. But if you need your health insurance plan to start January the 1st, you need to be enrolled by November the 15th, by December the 15th. If it's after December the 15th, it's not gonna start until February the 1st. That's what I was trying to say. I got all these enrollment dates rolling around in my head.
Yeah, it happens.
Medicare,
Yeah, that's a whole lot.
the regular health insurance.
I have to have the sheet in front of me. I ain't
Yeah.
remember
I
none
should
of
have
that.
jotted down my dates. You know what? Hold on. But while I'm looking for this, please know that life insurance is not always for you. If you're not using it to build wealth, you're using it to pass on to your family so that your family don't have that burden. Life insurance is not for you, okay? It's for the ones that you leave behind so that they can properly grieve. Okay, so open enrollment for the marketplace, November the 1st, so I was right, I just had these dates, through January the 15th.
Okay.
If you need your policy to start January the 1st, you need to be enrolled by December the 15th. And if you're enrolled after December the 15th, then it'll start February the 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are some things, and then yeah, that's it. But life insurance it helps to do what you're already doing for your family once you're gone, so that they don't have to be uprooted and start over. Or go stay with some family members, or
Yeah.
things like that. So just keep that in mind.
Also, learn how to leave an inheritance through this. Don't let this pass you by, because it doesn't take a lot of money to leave an inheritance. It just takes smart money. So just know where to put your money for your money to do the things that you can't do. Because you can't work a job and save enough money to help a next generation. So let's start being smart about it. Put your pride down and understand that you have a responsibility to leave something to the next generation that are coming behind you. And that's how you solidify your name. That's how we're gonna bring families back together to be stronger as well. Because a lot of people fall out about money. And one of the reasons they fall out about money is because it's a lack of concern and consideration for the ones coming after you. Everyone doesn't have to struggle. Just because you struggle starting out, don't do that to the next one. Since you know how it felt to struggle starting out, guess what? It's twice as hard now. So don't set them up and say, well, I went through it, they can go through it. No, we gotta start being better at leaving an inheritance, start being better at giving a head start to that next generation. It's not spoiling anyone or none of that crap. It's called preparation. It's honestly being what you're supposed to be, which is an obligated leader of your family. All right? because we've lost that. We're too selfish now. Okay, we got to get back to honestly being concerned about others, someone other than yourself. Okay, we got to get back to that. So, like I say, these policies is an awesome way to get that inheritance to your people. Even be able to help your people while you're alive, for buying cars, getting down payments for houses, different things of that nature. So all of these things are in here. You have, like I say, you have any questions, drop the messages in the comments, and like I said, we'll have her information on there. She works with an awesome team of agents, and whatever you need, they can get it done for you. We thank you for coming on today.
Yes, we do.
You got anything to?
Nah, man.
If you don't have anything, hey, it's been great. We love y'all, man. Just get better. All right? Peace and love. We out. See y'all next time.
Have an amazing week.